you know that to get the success you need to set up a goal, and then you need to achieve the target itself. In that way you can achieve the success. But that is a myth kind of things. So now in today's world, in modern life, it is more about the systems around you, how do you build your system itself, and also how do you nurture your habits. So if you want to improve 37 times that what you are today, then please be with me in this video. In this video I will review a book called Atomic Habits by Stephen Clear, and that describes that what is the process of making a system so that we can get 37 times improvement in a year. And this is Subhasish Chakraborti. I am a technologist. I am a speaker, and also I create videos for different interesting topics. Now, why James Clear has written this book, Atomic Habits? The reason behind that, in the early childhood, he met with an accident, and that accident is basically was a severe one, and it took him for quite a while to come back from that. And during that time, he observed that what is the importance of making small changes, the teeny changes, which can basically magnify, and it can lead to a greater success in the human's life. So what he told that if you improve 1% every day, so that means it will compound it just like a compound interest that we consider about. In a year, it will be 37 times than what you are today. On the other hand, if you decline by 1% every day, then at the end of the year, you will decrease to 0%. So it tells about that if you start cultivating small changes in your daily routine, some small habit, if you introduce some small habits, so that is basically can may not give the immediate changes, some tangible benefits. So what happens in most of the cases when people make small changes at a certain period of time, they want to get the immediate output of that, some tangible output. But that is not something which should be expected here, because at a long time, this tangible output is visible. So what happens is that when if you keep any ice in your room, and if you keep on heating that room slowly, starting from 10 degrees centigrade, 20 degrees centigrade, 30 degrees centigrade, the ice is not melting. 35 degrees centigrade, ice is not melting. But hitting the room temperature at 37 degrees centigrade, you find that the ice is started melting. That is called basically the threshold point. The threshold point, after that, there is a change that is observed. Similarly, in our cultivating habit also, after continue making this habit at a certain period of time, the tangible benefit should be visible. So that is what the author tells in this book itself. A teeny change or a small change can make a lot of difference. For example, you are starting from Los Angeles, you are flying from Los Angeles to New York, and by changing this direction of this path by around 3 or 3.5 degree, which is basically around a feet of the nose of the plane, that can lead you to the destination. Instead of New York, you can go to the Washington DC. So similarly, in our life's path also, a small change in our daily life can make us to a totally different destinations. And that is the biggest thing that this Atomic Habits by James Clear is talked about here. The difference between the winner and the loser is not about the goal, it is about the habit they nurture in their daily life. So for example, the Olympic medalist and the job interview, both of them have the same goal, but only the winner is basically wins a gold or wins a job, but the loser cannot do that. What happens is that for an athlete like that, for a long term athlete, they if they aim for a goal, so they can achieve the goal after winning the gold. But what happens even after that, after getting that goal achieved, they need to do something else. But if they want to continue with nurturing habit, and they keep on improving their system, so that after even after winning the gold, they can continue nurturing the same habit, and in that way they can keep on winning multiple medals in the Olympic itself. So there lies the interesting thing about the habit. Now habit is basically a two-edged sword. It can have a good habit, it can have a bad habit. If you nurture the good habit, then that will help you to improve a lot in your life. But on the other hand, if you do not take care about the bad habit, and if you allow them to increase that number of bad habit itself, that can lead to destruction. As the author also tells in this book, is that 1% of improvement of your daily life can lead to a 37 times improvement of yourself. There are 4 steps of atomic habits, basically starting with the cue, and then cravings, then response, and then reward. So it happens with time in this sequence itself. The first one is the queue. Queue is basically the thing. For example, for example, you are looking for improvement or growth in terms of money, in terms of prospect, in terms of self respect. So these are the cues. Second thing is basically the cravings. The cravings is basically when where we eat the food. We do not eat the food for the sake of eating the food, but we basically eat the food to quench the appetite in our stomach, and also get some good hormonal rush from some satisfaction. So this is basically the cravings. Third thing is basically the response. Response is basically the actual habit that you form based on the cue and cravings. And the next one is basically after response is basically reward. Reward is the actual ultimate rewarding things, or the gift that you want to observe after completing this habit itself. So human habits is basically follows these four simple steps. This has been described in this book itself. As a summary, you should put concentration on nurturing habits in your daily life. You need to add new and new habits in your life, so that and you should also need to continue for it for a longer time, maybe for years. If you continue doing that, then you will get some tangible benefits out of it. And at the same time, you should keep away from the bad habits. So with the right balance of good habits and removing the bad habits, that can lead to a greater success than targeting for a particular goal based system. So this is the modern based approach as described in this book. With that, Subhasish Chakraborti, sign off.